to homegrown fundraisers that help people that need it right in your own backyard, and that's what the Booker Mini Foundation is all about. Someone who can tell even a little bit more about being a cancer survivor is going to join me now. She is a multiple, what did you say, 5 times? 8 times? 2 hands. 8-time national award winner for volunteerism and for all the work that she has done. She is a cancer survivor as well from this very area, and you guys, I'm sure many of you know her. Her name is Shanna Decker. Shanna.
It's kind of tricky to try to get down on this stage because you got to fight off like 35 guitars and stairs, and that is just so difficult sometimes. How many people are enjoying themselves tonight? Yes, wonderful. Well, that sounds good. I, too, am enjoying myself. I have been to a number of Booker Mini Foundation events. I actually spoke in August, a little earlier, at one of the other fundraisers. So if you've heard this story before, I apologize. I'll try to spruce it up a little bit. And if you haven't, well, then I hope that you're duly entertained. I'm not as good as Elvis, but I will try. So I, as Tracy said, am here because Booker Mini is something that affects my life every single day. And Booker Mini affects my life not because I'm standing in a room in the Mayo Civic Center, but because I know what it is like to be a person in need of somebody to stand behind them and say, we care about you. When I heard about the Booker Mini Foundation, I was shocked to hear that they kept all of their money local, and that all of the money that came in the Booker Mini Foundation came from local people. And that's special for me because I, too, am local. And I'm local to the Mayo Clinic as a person who lived in Plainview, Minnesota, and as a person who heard the words, "You have cancer," when I was 7 years old. That was 13 years ago, and at the time I'm 20. And everything changed when I heard the words, "You have cancer." In a moment, my life went from a place where I could play football and I could run around with my neighbors and I could live every moment of every day without a care in the world, to wondering if I was going to live at the end of every night. I underwent 49 weeks of chemotherapy, and I was at the Mayo Clinic for that treatment. I actually had my left leg amputated, which we can talk about later if you'd like. It's a little fun. People who have seen it would agree. But in that 49 weeks, I learned what it meant to need to stand behind other people and to love other people. And that's a special thing, and that's something that everybody here at the Booker Mini Foundation understands. In the 13 years since cancer, I have been incredibly blessed with the things that I've been able to do. As soon as I finished treatment, we went back to the doctor. As a family, like Tracy said, cancer is not something walked alone. It's an entire family ordeal. We asked those doctors if there was any way we could come back and help other people, knowing that we had a new insight on life and every single day that we would never be able to get rid of. And the doctor said, yeah, you can do that. 13 years ago was a long time. And in the 13 years since then, I've met upwards of 300 patients touched by childhood cancer and amputation, and somewhere in the realm of 1,000 personal visits as a family. And that, too, has changed us. And that's why I'm here tonight to talk to all of you, not because I'm a cancer survivor per se and that I understand it, but that because I have seen your efforts in real life. As I look around this room and I read the names on the side of this, I don't just look at names. I look at people that have been my best friends, and I look at the names of kids who have childhood cancer who wouldn't be able to have parents in the hospital with them if it weren't for donations from people like yourself. While I was looking around, we counted more than a handful of people that we knew personally as a family wandering around tonight. And they each have stories. And they have stories that have impacted my life because they've allowed me to be a part of their life in a way that I can't describe. Well, I sit in hospital rooms with them and I say that I understand there's only so much that I can do. I can look at them and I can say that I know what it's like to have to fear losing your leg, and I know what it's like to be on chemotherapy, and I know what it's like to go home and want to just go to high school. But then I look over at their parents, and I see their parents get that bill from the Mayo Clinic that has a 6-digit number at the top of it with a $sign in front of it. And I see the face of that parent look at their child and look at a piece of paper and then look at their child again. And I know the look in their eyes as they say, I don't know if we can do this. I don't know how we're going to be able to pay for their chemotherapy and their surgery and still be here fighting for their life. And yet they have to, because every single day it's cancer. It's not like a stubbed toe, it's cancer. So they have to keep fighting. So I look around this room and I think about Hannah Hughes, who is at home right now as they're building a new house because she's missing the upper portion of her leg and all of her leg because she just underwent her chemotherapy. And I look around the room and I see the name Axel Johnson, a good friend of mine who passed away about a year ago and who I'm best friends with his twin sister. And I look around the room and I see Nathan Braun, just a local child who likes to play hockey. And I think about what it does when all of you come to a room like this tonight. And we come here and we have fun and we make our donations. But what we also do is we give life to people. And not because it's a donation and not because they're able to lessen their financial burden, but because of being able to lessen their financial burden, their families are able to be together. So one night, Dad won't have to go to work and he can come home on Christmas and be with his family when they can be together. Because for these families, they've learned, as all of us do in some way, that life is precious. And that when we are together, it's the most powerful thing that we're going to have. And so I'm here tonight to thank you on behalf of all of those people, on behalf of every name around this room. I talked to Gene a little earlier, and he told me some of the numbers of money that's been raised and the people that have been touched, and it absolutely blew my mind. And the numbers are impressive, but what's most impressive is seeing a parent walk into a hospital room on Christmas Eve and saying, I didn't have to work the late night shift because I could be here because somebody made a donation so we could buy food for the next week. And so to all of you, I thank you. I thank you on behalf of every name in this room. I thank you on behalf of myself. I thank you on behalf of everyone who is touched by the organization that my family is now blessed to run in Rochester to help those families touched by childhood cancer. And I want you all to know that you don't understand how precious it is to give these families time together. But that's exactly what you do. So I pray that you all just enjoy your night and that you realize what a beautiful blessing it is for us to be able to give back to one another. And I thank you all for having me.
I was telling Shanna when we were starting, I said, I remember when you were diagnosed, and in my mind, you'll always be the second grade girl who just got diagnosed with cancer. And she said, isn't that something in your brain? I don't really remember anything before that because now I am who I am because of that. And that's true. The names, if you haven't seen them as you're walking along on the white pieces of paper that go all the way around, if you'll just take a moment and check them all out. Of course, you can't read them all maybe from where you're sitting. But those names represent the over 60 people that the Booker Mini Foundation has helped. Straight cash grants, helping them out. I know that they have helped with rent, to pay the rent if there is a couple of months out, whatever the situation is, or groceries, or whatever it is. They take whatever money they have and they write the biggest check that they can, and they try to help the most amount of people that they can, and that's what the money tonight is all about. So thank you once again.